Welcome to This Week in BJJ, the world's first and only live jiu-jitsu show. Brought to you by Zebra Mats, simply Z-Best, Q5 Labs, Stay Alpha, and Defense Soap, defend what you have built. And here's your host, Budo Jake.
Hey guys, welcome to a brand new episode of This Week in BJJ. Today is April 11th. I'm Budo Jake, and I'm here to talk to you about all the latest news in the BJJ world. Today we're going to talk about, well, we're going to show one of the cutest videos that you've ever seen. We're going to show you some exclusive content of a super fight with DJ Jackson versus Gary Tonin, and we're going to talk about getting choked out. And then we're going to talk about a viewer email. And finally, we're going to see a couple more really cool techniques from Carlos Alberto Terrinha. Now let's get to the news. We're going to start the show off today with one of the cutest videos that you've ever seen. This video proves that it's never too young to get started in martial arts. This comes to us from judo, and it's two little girls who are sharing their first time ever competing in judo. Let's take a look at these two little girls on the mats. Now, your guess is as good as mine how old these girls are. Probably 2 or 3 years old, and just having a good time out there. Remember to always bow to your opponent before you go for the takedown. Or was that a guard pull? I'm not sure. Balance is one of the most important parts of martial arts. These girls are developing it at a young age. She goes in, gets her grips. Ah, nice takedown there. I'm not sure how you'd score that. And one last look, very nice. I think both girls won that match. Next up, let's get serious. Let's talk about ADCC USA. ADCC, as you guys know, does a huge world championship every 2 years in a different part of the world. Well, they're also ramping things up in the US, and they're going to have mat tournaments, gi and no gi, in many cities all around the country. And what's interesting about their tournaments is, number one, the rule set is a little different than what you probably are used to. And also, the points scoring are different. And they also have super fights at each event. So the recent event they did was in New York City. This was last weekend. And they had a super fight with DJ Jackson versus Gary Tonin. And we got exclusive footage of that here. So let's take a look. It's DJ on the left, Gary Tonin on the right. DJ trains with Lloyd Irvin. And Gary Tonin trains with Tom DeBlas. DJ goes in for the takedown, which is no surprise there. DJ is known for his takedowns and his half guard passes, so he's in a strong position. Gary has a really well-rounded game. And one interesting thing you see him doing a lot in this match is his leg work. He switched it up a little bit now, but we'll come back to that in a moment. Nice inversion there, almost got to the back. Gary had some nice footwork there, almost coming up. DJ has, well, I guess limited might be a way some people would describe it, but he has a very narrow range of really strong techniques. And you can see he always has a lot of pressure, always driving forward. Certainly a challenge for anyone to deal with. And there you see Gary reaping the leg, bringing his left leg over. That's not a problem with ADCC, so interesting to see some of these different positions. And of course, heel hooks are legal in ADCC matches as well. So that was a really nice attack by Gary, but DJ was ready for it. So reaping, heel hooks, neck cranks, all of those are legal in the advanced divisions in ADCC. DJ, nice snap down, single leg. This is actually the first of 2 times that DJ and Gary met in the tournament. They also met in the absolute division in the finals. Nice flying scissors takedown by Gary Tonin. That's another submission or takedown attempt that's illegal in most jiu-jitsu tournaments and also judo tournaments because of danger that it could injure someone's knees. So it's nice to see some of these techniques that we haven't, that we don't normally see. So lots of good back and forth action there between DJ and Gary. The match ended with a final score of 2 to -1. DJ taking the win there. The -1 most likely came from a guard pull. However, I did not get verification of that. In ADCC tournaments, you get a -1 for pulling guard. So again, as I mentioned, they also met in the finals of the absolute division, and DJ also won that match with a final score of 0 to -1. DJ fought 5 times that day and won all 5 matches, so congratulations. The next tournament from ADCC USA is going to have a super fight between AJ Agazarm and Terrinha. Terrinha is a really talented BJJ and MMA guy, and it's going to be nice to see him back in the grappling circuit. This is going to be on May 17th in Florida, and again, we'll have footage of that super fight after it happens. Last thing I want to talk about before talking about new products, and that is getting choked out. Getting choked out means being choked until you are unconscious, and it's something that happens to most of us. If you train long enough, it's going to happen. It's certainly not something I condone. I don't recommend you do it. I don't think anybody really tries to do it, but it's happened to me a couple times, well, actually more than a couple times. But I just want to share a couple stories with you. The first time it happened, I was a blue belt, and it was at Gracie Barra headquarters, and there's a black belt that showed up. His name is Upiano Malachi. He runs one of the most well-run jiu-jitsu schools in the country out in Texas. And anyway, he just showed up. I was a blue belt, he was a black belt, and I thought, okay, it was a guard pass drill, and I really just wanted to jump right through the guy's guard. So we started, I got my grips, I passed the guard, and I couldn't believe it. Here I just passed a black belt's guard, I got nice and tight, got my gable grip, side control, squeezing, and next thing I knew I was waking up. I had no idea what a baseball choke was at that time, but he got his grips and allowed me to pass his guard and put me in a position where I could be choked unconscious, but I had no idea at that point that you could be in side control and be getting choked. So after that, Carlos Gracie Jr. came up to me and talked to me and said, hey, you know, that's not something you should try to do, try not to get choked out. And he gave me a tip, and it's helped me since then. He said, never close your eyes if you're getting choked. Always keep your eyes open and don't look down at the mat. Look as far away as you can. And when you look far away, if you're being choked, you'll see things start to narrow in. And when your vision starts to narrow, that's when it's time to tap. And of course, you don't have to wait until that long. If you're in a chokehold, you know, there's no harm in tapping and living to fight another day. But I say all this because I was choked out recently, and it hasn't happened in a long time, and I was just reminded of the feeling. And I found that oftentimes it's not the tightest chokes that do it. Sometimes it's a loose choke that's slowly limiting the blood flow to your brain, and sometimes it just catches you by surprise. So I proposed a question on Facebook, and I asked people, have you ever been choked unconscious, and how did it feel like? And the thing that surprised me was the overwhelming response that I got was that everybody spoke favorably of the feeling that they got. Almost like it was, one guy said it was like a third day of a vacation. One guy said that he had some nice dreams. And it's kind of true. I agree with that it can be almost a relaxing feeling. I was out for just a few seconds just the other day, but it felt like hours. So anyway, this is all not to say that it's anything you should try to do, but just kind of an interesting side effect of the training that we do. And let's all try to improve our choke defense and not feel that again. Okay, time to talk about new products. Let's get to it. Okay, new products. Don't have a lot to talk about today. Well, there's one new shirt. The 3 points for the guard passing shirt is now up on Budo Videos. You can get those while we have them in stock. But other than that, I just want to let you guys know that we've almost reached a milestone as far as our iOS apps go. We have 48 of them in the App Store, and probably next week it'll be 50. So lots of content there, and I love the format. You can take your iPad or your iPhone to the gym and work on things right there on the mat, learning from the world champions, and and from me too. My Going Upside Down app is doing really well, and I'm getting a lot of good feedback on people that are starting to incorporate more inversions in their game. So thank you guys for the nice words on that. We also released one called 10 BJJ Moves You Must Know. This one is actually a free app. You can get it in the iOS App Store, and it includes 10 moves from guys like Barata, like Vladislav Kulikov, like Michael Lange, Victor Estima, Majid Hage. It's a bunch of really cool moves, so check that out. It's totally free, and hope you guys enjoy it. Now let's get to viewer mail. Today's question comes to us from Mr. Davis. He says, my question is about leg locks. My coach is always telling us not to do leg locks. I ask him why, and he just tells me to work on my passing. I want to learn the whole game. Should I switch schools? Well, I'm not going to recommend that you switch schools. I don't know your whole situation, but the fact that your teacher doesn't really answer your question kind of concerns me. Every instructor has their own biases and their own things that they like and they like to teach, and things that maybe they don't like to teach, but he should be able to explain to you why he doesn't want you to do leg locks. And there is a good reason why you shouldn't spend too much time focusing on leg locks, and that is because you do need to learn guard passing. You do need to become a good passer, and if you just resort to falling back with ankle locks all the time, that might work, especially at the white belt, maybe even at the blue belt level. But after a while, you need to learn how to pass the guard. It's a really important part of the game, and leg locks should not be a crutch. That being said, there are a lot of instructors that might not be very good at leg locks. It hasn't been in the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu curriculum as long as maybe some other aspects of the game. So maybe you do need to go to another gym and find a guy who specializes in it to learn what you want to know. You are the consumer, and life is short. You got to learn what you want to learn. I spent a few times over at Gokor Cevichin's academy. He is one of the best guys at leg locks that I know, and I was glad that I ventured outside of my normal gym to get exposed to some of those high-level leg attacks. I learned a lot of things that I still use to this day, and knowledge is power. So that's about all I can tell you about that. But I wouldn't let one instructor limit my game. If there's something you want to know, go out there and learn it. And you don't always necessarily have to go to a school to learn it. There's lots of online instructionals that you can learn and drill on your own. So there's always that as well. All right, thanks for the question. If you have a question, feel free to send it in to twibjj@BudoVideos.com. We can't answer all the questions on air, but we answer one of them each episode. Okay, now it's the time of the show where you're going to learn some cool techniques. Last week on the show, we had Carlos Alberto Terrinha, who will also be on today's episode. He runs Gracie Barra School in Boston, and he's not only an accomplished instructor, but a well-known competitor, and he's also an IBJJF ref. On the last episode, he taught a really cool technique called the Terminator Choke. If you haven't studied it, I recommend you to check it out. It's a really strong choke. And today, he teaches a couple other really cool techniques, really unique things that I doubt you've seen before. So I hope you enjoy the techniques by Terrinha, and I'll see you guys next time. Hey guys, welcome back to This Week in BJJ. I'm Budo Jake, and on the last episode, we had Carlos Alberto, better known as Terrinha, showed a really nice choke called the Terminator Choke. He's back this time with another submission. This one is going to be an armbar.
All right, guys. So stay on a total position. Like you guys know, like a lot of people after Thales starting to do a total position. So everybody want to do total position. So I figured out one way over here to trying to stop that total position doing submission. So just move it that way a little bit. Jake, please. Yep. So wait for the wall. So guys, I'm gonna be over here with my knee between his leg like a normal control over here. Like, I don't put my hand too deep because he's gonna hook my arm. So my hand goes over here and grab the collar underneath his armpit with my fingers inside, right, and my thumb outside. And then I'm gonna control over here. But first control to do the armbar, I'm gonna put my fingers inside to his collar over here near to his ear. And then I'm gonna hook his shoulder, look. I gotta have that position over here to hook his shoulder. Now look, over here his hip is still free. So now what I'm gonna do, look, I'm gonna slide myself back and drop my hip over here, look, on the side, on the corner of his hip. Put my belly button over here on the corner of his hip and keep the control over there, right? Now, as soon as I have that control, he don't know what I'm gonna do over here. I'm gonna do one step up with my left leg. As I step up with my second leg, I'm gonna take him off the floor and bring his shoulder underneath to my armpit, underneath to my leg. Okay, I'm gonna pull his armpit or his shoulder up underneath to my leg. And then over here, look, right away is one step with the leg, one step with the other one, and lean on the floor. Now I have the control. Try roll Jake, please. His shoulder strap, and then I can let go and go to armbar. Catch armbar.
Call this cat armbar?
Cat armbar.
Where's that name come from?
That's come from my name, Carlos Alberto Terrinha. Catch armbar. Cat armbar.
Yeah, it's a really good control. You have my whole shoulder just under your control.
So you wanna one more time explaining?
Yep.
And then okay. So over here, knee between his leg, right hand into his armpit, hold the collar. Right here, fingers inside, thumb outside. My left hand go over here, palms up, fingers inside, thumb outside. Hold around his shoulder, right? Then I move to his back and get the control over here tight. I can pull him toward me, get him tight. Then one step with my left, one step with my right here. And then bring him up. As you bring him up, one step over, another step over, and then lean back. Control his shoulder, and then go to the kill.
Very nice. So what's your secondary option from the turtle position?
Secondary option over here. Same situation, same grip, right? Now, instead I put my finger inside, I'm gonna put my thumb inside. Look, I'm gonna grab this way and stay over here. Now, I can go all the way back, or I can stay over here. If he's thinking I'm gonna pick him up, my hand can go right away around to go to the choke. Cock choke. Right? Over here, same grip. As I pick him up, as I step up, look, his head come up, my elbow goes down, and I drop again. And then I choke him.
It's a really nice combo. Yeah. Especially against a, I mean, this would probably work against somebody my own size too, but a bigger, stronger guy can really lift somebody up like that. That's awesome.
So just pull him off the floor. You want to see on the right speed the armbar? So guys, over here, got the control. Hand inside, slide back. Sorry.
It's great. Just boom, just like that.
I used to, when I show the position on seminar, I used to show first one little exercise, just this, look. To get the position easy. Step with one and keep the other one up at the same time. So you can see over here, when I pick him up, look, I pick him up, 1, 2, sit on his back, and lay on the floor. Right? Awesome. And for the choke, it's the same thing. Thumb inside, I can come over here, like as I pick him up, right away.
So when attacking the turtle, is that your key always to pick the guy up?
Yeah, take him. Like one of those things is most of the guys when they fight on that position, they turtle down and they don't want to make space. So it's hard if you put the hand over here. When you shake, they don't expect that, look.
Yeah.
You do a loop around his neck.
It's a good strategy because, like, you're right. A lot of times, especially in competition, if the guy's up on points, they're just gonna hold tight, lift him up, and expose him.
Shake his shoulder.
Cool.
Go right around.
Very good. Thanks for the techniques.
Thank you very much. I appreciate
Drill that stuff, guys. Attacking the turtle. Thanks for watching This Week in BJJ. We'll be back next time with another episode.
Thank you, Budo Jake. Thank you, guys, for having me here.
That concludes this installment of This Week in BJJ. Watch and review past episodes on iTunes and YouTube. And then be sure to join us again right here for another live edition of This Week in BJJ. Brought to you by BudoVideos.com.